Did you know that Kinky Wellness is integral to your self-development? Hi, welcome to the Partition, home of Kinky Wellness, the ultimate destination to explore the integral connection between kinky wellness and your personal development. I'm your host and kinky wellness coach, Dana Shergill, and each Monday I bring on a special guest to dive into specific aspects of kinky wellness. From unconventional practices to thought-provoking conversations, I'm here to break down barriers and redefine the boundaries of wellness and pleasure. Don't forget to join me for my solo shows on Wednesdays, where I explore even further into the multifaceted layers of kinky wellness. So let's strip away the shame and taboo together and have an open conversation about it. Hey, welcome back. In this episode of the Partition podcast, we welcome Cody Butler. Cody is the founder of Better Marriage, which is a marriage recovery company that focuses on helping men successfully win back their wives. With over 22 years of experience, Cody is a #1 best-selling author, and his expertise has been showcased on major networks such as Fox, ABC, and NBC. I apologize in advance for any audio issues, as Cody had to record in his car, but make sure to listen to the end because Cody is filled with wisdom and knowledge that will certainly help men rescue their marriage. Even further, check out the links in the description to gain access to Cody's free book, 7 Steps to Save Your Marriage, as well as access to his free workshop on how to stop your divorce the right way. So without waiting any longer, let's welcome Cody to the show. Hello, Cody. Welcome to the show. How are you today?
I'm fantastic. Thank you for having me, Dana.
Well, I'm excited to have you on the show because I believe that this will resonate with a lot of listeners. But before we get into today's topic, which is marriage rescue for men, can you tell us a little bit about how you got into this and where you started?
Yeah, I mean, the short story is there are many areas of your life, but it doesn't matter your finances, your health, everything. It's like if your relationships are not working, then it's all for nothing. You're going to be very unhappy. And I found myself at the end, really from sort of a teenager through to late 20s, 30s, in a series of just broken relationships and just really not understanding why that was. But they followed patterns, and it's like just really out of the necessity to kind of avoid future pain, I started looking into patterns. It's like, is this just the alignment of the stars, or do I have some role in the decline of these relationships? And that's kind of where I started. Really, was out of looking for a solution to my own pain, to be honest.
And your role in the decline, I think that's very important. I think we have a tendency to think that everything is the other person's fault. And so it sounds
Yeah.
like you're reminding you do play a role, like we all do play a role in our problems.
Well, I mean, it's like we are the problem, and that's the same in both directions as well. Like I work with men, and it's like sometimes the men get confused and they're like, so I'm the only one at fault. I'm like, you're not the only one at fault, but you're the only one that you can work on. You're the only one you have any right to change. You're the only one you have the right to go to work on. And it's like going to your wife or your partner, telling her that she's the problem is not a solution. Ultimately, Dana, if your partner's leaving you, if your wife's leaving you right now, it's ultimately because you've been weighed and you've been measured and you've been found wanting. And the solution is, like when we look at our partner and go, our partner needs to change, it's like you're basically going to your partner and saying, you need to lower your standards. You need to lower your standards to accept me because I'm not meeting the bar right now. And you need to lower your standards. That's the problem versus going, well, is it possible for me to raise my standards? Is it possible for me to become a higher value male or a higher value female? And it's like that's where the real magic happens, is understanding that the solution is not for the world to lower its standards. It's for you to raise yours.
Absolutely. So when someone first comes to you for help, where are they typically in that journey? At the very end, they've tried everything, maybe marriage counseling didn't work, various reasons. Is that kind of where they find you?
Yeah. Look, and unfortunately, as men, we tend not to take action until it's too late. We've really got to. Women tend to be preemptive, men tend to be reactive in the relationship space. At least that's my experience. It's like the woman will be asking for marriage counseling or support 12 to 18 months before the relationship ends, whereas the man only asks for support once he gets the Dear John letter. He gets home fine, she's gone, or he's given his green slip and told to hit the road.
And when that comes down to kind of like the breakdown of a marriage, do you find that there's a common theme, I guess, that keeps recurring as to why a woman is like, no, I'm done with this. I can't do this anymore?
Ultimately, what's happened is hope has left the relationship. Most men think their wives are unreasonable. That she's just left because she wants to do her own thing, or she's just left because she wants. No. She's left because she sees no hope in you ever meeting her needs. She sees no hope in you ever meeting the minimum standard to stay in this relationship, and she's been telling you for years what you need to do, with no response, or any response is very temporary. You know, she's been telling you what needs to happen for her to stay. She's been giving you direction. She's been giving you coaching. She's been trying to get outside help. And at this point, she's gone, it's hopeless. This man will never change. So she's looking at the man ultimately going, this is it. What he is the finished article. He's not going to improve. He's not going to change. He's not going to modify his behavior. So I've got two choices: accept that and make that my reality for the rest of my life, or make a break and have another shot at happiness. And a lot of times, you know, it's different for a woman. You know, a man in his 40s has got many more shots. A woman in her 40s, at least in her mind, is she doesn't have 3 or 4 more rolls of the dice. You know, a woman in her 40s or 50s is going, this is it, man. I've got one chance. I've got one more roll of the dice. And that's generally when the relationship really comes to an end, or the woman says, right, I'm leaving. She leaves when hope leaves, when she goes, there's no hope left for this man. There's no hope of change.
And for when men come to you now, how do you reinvigorate that hope? How do you get them to get control back on their relationship and maybe themselves and what they're doing?
Yeah. Self-responsibility. So, like, I won't work with a man that doesn't take responsibility. Like, everything in your life, Dan, you've created. Everything good, you're responsible for. Everything bad, you're responsible for. Everything you have and everything you don't have also, you've created in some shape, form, or fashion. Maybe you don't know the chain of custody. Maybe you don't know exactly how you created, but nevertheless, your life is your responsibility. And a lot of times the men come to me and they're not taking responsibility. They're like, it's my wife's problem. I've got ADHD. It's the kid's problem. It's society's problem. It's this problem. It's that. She's got childhood trauma. It's like, it's every problem but me. And step number 1 is like, no, your life is your responsibility. And a victim mentality is probably the least attractive of all the characters that you can play in this game called life. The role of the victim is the least attractive. Nobody wants to be around a victim, and certainly nobody wants to be married to a victim. And as long as you're saying it's my wife's fault, it's society's fault, it's my parents' fault, it's like you're playing the victim, bro. And nobody wants that. So step number 1 is stop playing the victim and start taking some responsibility for your life.
Are you very direct with your clients and saying you have to? Very direct. And how do you feel that they take it on average?
Well, honestly, Dana, it's like a lot of people find me from places like your show, for example, and it's like I'm quite direct here as well. So it's like people have a pretty good idea of what they're getting. It's like, you know, I'm not gonna give you a hug and say it's gonna be okay. I'm like, it's not gonna be okay, bro. It's not gonna be okay unless you sort your life out. You're gonna lose your wife. You're gonna lose your kids. You're gonna lose half your retirement. You're gonna lose half your finances. She's probably the best thing that's ever going to happen to you ever again, and you're about to lose that. I'm like, it's not going to be okay. Nothing's going to be okay. You know, so and we've got a very, very limited window of opportunity. It's like, you know, we've got to stop the bleeding. So if you're not able to hear what needs to be said and take those steps immediately, it's like we're just not gonna engage, because you're going to be disappointed with the result. I'm not here to tell you you're right. I'm here to help you get your family back.
Absolutely. And so additional to responsibility, what other qualities do you focus on with men to like repair that relationship with their wife?
So it's a great question. So you've got to go to the beginning of the relationship, and there was only 2 reasons that your wife said yes to you. 2 reasons she agreed to spending her life with you, and that was she just loved the way that you made her feel. She felt great around you. And she saw that a future, and she believed that a future with you was significantly better than a future without you. And when you put those two together, it's like, why would you not agree to spend the rest of your life with that person, right? That's what she said yes to. Anything else falls into one of those two buckets. Those are the only two buckets in the relationship game. Now, if she's leaving, the exact opposite is true. She hates how you feel, or she hates how you make her feel. And she looks at a future without you as being better than a future with you. So those are the reasons why she's leaving. So it's like, I don't care about the story. I don't care about the background. I don't care about trauma. I don't care about what your parents did to you or her. It's like, here's the solution. Make her feel great. Show her a better future. That's it. Make her feel great about herself. Show her a better future. I'm like, that's all she wants. If you can give her those two things, then you've got a very good chance. If you don't, then good luck.
Yeah. And by showing, I think that's also a key element here is sometimes we don't, on both sides, we don't want to hear the same story over and over again. And sometimes you do have to switch gears and actually produce, you actually have to execute what you're saying.
Absolutely. It's like, I mean, the biggest enemy that most of the men that I work with have is working against them is confirmation bias. We say it's confirmation bias, but it's really not confirmation bias. It's truth. It's like your wife has no belief in your ability to change. She's given you every opportunity to change. She's been giving you direction. She's offered to get you a marriage coach. She's offered to get counseling. She's offered to go to counseling. It's like she has no belief in your ability to change at this point. And right now, any change that she sees, she's going to believe is only because she's dropped the hammer on this relationship.
And how do you work through that wall then? If the wife is like, no, you're only doing this because I'm leaving, I don't want to hear this. How do you work through that problem then?
So one of the things we say, Dana, is when your attitude is right, the facts don't matter. When your attitude is right, the facts don't matter, which is a beautiful thing. Because I tell the men, like, if that wasn't true, you're screwed. If the facts mattered right now, you got major problems. Because the reality is, you can't work your way back into this relationship. There is a debt that cannot be paid. It's like you owe your wife $100 million and you make 50 grand a year. It's like this debt cannot be paid. It absolutely can never be paid. It's like you've abused her so bad for so many years. You've neglected her so, the debt is so big. But we've got one hope here. Like, there's a button in every woman's heart called the forgiveness button. That's your only hope. It's not appealing to logic. It's not appealing to, I'm going to change. It's like your only hope is that she hits that forgiveness button and that debt is forgiven. Because you can never pay that debt off. So going back to your wife, say, and going, I'm going to repay this debt. I'm going to make it right. No, you can't make it right. You can't undo the damage. You can't undo the pain. You can't give her back the lost years. All you can do is hope that she hits the forgiveness button. And the way we do that is we don't focus on her and changing the relationship. Any change has got to be, I'm doing this because I'm not the man that I need to be. And whether you take me back or whether you don't take me back, you've highlighted that I'm not the man that I need to be. And I need to change for me. And that, when the woman sees the man changing because he genuinely understands that he's damaging people, then that opens the possibility of the forgiveness button being pressed. As long as the man is changing for the only reason to change the relationship or save the relationship, that button's not a chance, man. Not a chance.
And there's a lot of trust there to forgive someone again, especially if they've been hurt a few times. So how do you help your clients rebuild that trust even after, when you're teetering on maybe for that forgiveness button, and how do you rebuild trust?
Well, two questions guys ask me to answer that question. It's like when I work with men, they're in a bad situation, they go, can this marriage be saved? Can I save it? And how long is it going to take? And my answer is always the same. It's like, can we reestablish emotional safety? And how long is it going to take to establish emotional safety? It's like a woman needs emotional safety like a man needs sex. What needs to happen for trust to be established? Like, if you and I are in a relationship, for example, and you've left that relationship because I've been a bit of butthead, you're not going to even contemplate hitting that forgiveness button until I understand fully the damage that's been done. You know, I hear it all the time. Like, you know, I heard it yesterday. A man said, well, you know, my wife said to me, you don't even know the damage you've done. You don't even know the pain you've inflicted. And I'm like, she's telling you what needs to happen. She's telling you that she's got a lot of stuff that she wants to talk about that she does not yet feel emotionally safe to talk to you about because she's afraid of the consequence. If she tells you the damage that you've done and how it really made her feel, you're going to respond, not necessarily physical, but like emotionally, it's going to be a beating for her.
Mm.
The man's going to go, that's not true. I didn't do that. That wasn't how it happened. That wasn't how it rolled out. And it's like, she's just going to go pointless. You know, she's not there to debate the logistics of the situation. She's there to tell you how you made her feel in that situation, which, going back to the beginning, right? She said she wants to be with you because she likes how you made her feel. And now she's telling you where that's gone wrong. But until you're able to establish that emotional safety with your wife, and let's define that quickly, it's like emotional safety is your ability to be 100% of yourself 100% of the time. That's the gold standard of emotional safety, Dana. It's like if you can be 100% of yourself around me 100% of the time, you have complete emotional safety. If you have to hold back a percentage of yourself because if you reveal that part of your personality, you'll be punished or you'll experience pain, that's the destruction of emotional safety. And ultimately, what's happened is emotional safety has been destroyed to the point where the woman is maybe 5% of herself 10% of the time. That's all she's got. There's nothing left of her in the relationship. It's like I can only be 5% of myself 10% of the time because you shut me down all the rest, because you punish me when any more of me comes out. And it's like there's simply no room for her in the relationship. She's going, I have to completely lose myself to be with you. And until that space is made and going, okay, emotional safety is back, you know, let's be realistic. You can be 50% of yourself 50% of the time. That's an improvement. That then gives enough space to where the woman can start to communicate and go, well, you did this and it made me feel that way, or you did that and it made me feel that way. I have this issue with you, and then the issues can start to come out, and when they're discussed, the trust starts to reappear.
But that sounds like it would be hard for a client. I think that's why they're coming to see you. So when that originally, it might feel like an attack a little bit for them. So how do you work with your clients on lowering that wall, that it isn't an attack, it's coming out of somewhere?
You're smart. You're a smart woman.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, you've got to create a bulletproof vest. You are going to take a beat down, my friend. If you want your wife back, you're going to take a beat down because you've beaten her for 20 years emotionally. You've suppressed her 20 years. She's, you know, people go, oh, women never forget. No, that's not true. Women never let stuff go. No, that's not true. Absolutely, they forget. Absolutely, they let stuff go, but not until it's resolved. When it's resolved, they let it go. And, you know, men go, oh, you know, she's still bringing up something from 20 years ago. Well, maybe that's important to her, dude. If she's been bringing it up for 20 years, maybe that's important to her. Have you ever considered that? Or do you think she's just a nag that just wants to make your life miserable? She's not going to let it go. Maybe that means it's important to her. Maybe if you gave her the space to talk about it, maybe some of the steam would leave and it will go away. And it's like that again. That's where the forgiveness button can happen, right? It's like if you go, Cody, you hurt me, and I go, oh, you're bringing that up again. Seriously, we doing this today, are we? Versus going, you hurt me, and I'm like, well, tell me about that. Help me understand that. Okay, so it sounds like you really felt belittled in that situation. Sounds like you really felt like I made you feel insignificant, or yeah, that's exactly how I felt, Cody. Okay, well, thank you for sharing that with me, Dana. I appreciate you feeling like, you know, you can share that with me. I appreciate that. It's like, and I'll make every effort to not do that. It's like, well, now there's a possibility, right? It's like I've acknowledged that I made you feel bad. If you go, Cody, you made me feel bad, and I go, shut the hell up. Just shut up and get in the bed and give me some sex. It's like, yeah, that's a strategy. That'll get you the result you're looking for, which is effectively is what's happening, right? You know, a woman's going, I want to talk about this, this, and this, and the guy goes, shut up and get in the bed. That's effectively what's going on in the relationship. And it's like, you wonder why she wants out. You wonder why she wants to leave. It's like, this is not rocket science.
Is it one of those things like men are kind of like asleep at the wheel and then all of a sudden they're wide awake after like a shock? Do you find that that's typically what's happening?
Yes, 100%. Here's the thing, right? Like, I believe that fundamentally as human beings, we do the right thing, we move in the right direction. The mission we have is, like I say, it's not really about marriage, it's about putting an end to a generational curse. And the man's have behavior within the relationship, he's just modeling his father, who also had a horrible relationship. He probably just couldn't leave because it was 40 years ago and it was different social norms. Or the woman couldn't leave 40 years ago. My mother couldn't leave my dad. That wasn't an option for her. You know, she couldn't support herself financially. It was socially unacceptable. It probably was even not legitimate, probably wasn't even legal 40 or 50 years ago. There wasn't no fault divorces back then. You know, there had to be legitimate reason for divorce. It's like, he's been given his relationship skills. His father's been given his relationship skills from his grandfather. And it's not that the guy's just like, I'm a selfish butthead. It's like, he just doesn't know any better. He's just playing the card of hands that he's been given. And a lot of times, like, a lot of the men that I work with, they literally break down and start crying when they realize what they've done. They're like, oh my God, like, I've wrecked my family. I've wrecked this. I love this woman and I've wrecked her. And it's like, you have. But this is where that trust starts to be rebuilt, right? When that vulnerability comes in, when the man realizes, like, you know, if I'm just doing damage and I don't know I'm doing damage, that's a very dangerous place for you to be. Very dangerous place for you to be, because I don't even know I'm doing the damage and you're just getting beaten black and blue. And it's like, I don't even know I'm swinging. But when the man realizes, go, oh my God, like, we talk about emotional safety and I explain it and I walk them through a couple of situations and they're like, oh my God, like, my wife's been given no space in this relationship at all. I'm like, no, you've been a lodger in your own marriage. You've been a tenant in your own marriage. You come at night, you eat a meal, you watch a movie, you get some sex if you're lucky. She gives you breakfast and a cup of coffee and you leave in the morning and then you come back at night. It's like, she's an employee.
And that type of cycle can quickly turn into a very loveless situation almost, because we have limited time and I feel like we on both sides have to really make an effort to keep that spiciness in there, that attractiveness in there. And so how do you help your clients in that regard?
The answer is, you've got to understand what turns a woman on. For men, sex is the experience. For a woman, sex is part of the experience. It's a big difference. Like, if you want to make love to your wife, it doesn't start at 9 o'clock at night. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning. And again, it comes down to how she feels, man. It's everything. How your wife feels is everything. She only said yes to you because she loves the way she made you feel. And it's like, if she feels used, abused, neglected, unappreciated, taken advantage of, you know, all of these emotions throughout the day, and then at 9 o'clock it's like, hey baby, you know, have a look at this, you want some? It's like, no, she doesn't want any of that, dude. No, trust me, your wife is up for it, man. Like, she's up for it. She's up for way more than you think she's up for. But it's like, you're not going to access that by just whipping it out and flopping it around. It's like that. It starts in the morning, and the intimacy at the end of the evening is the culmination of the event. It is not the event. Whereas the man, on the other hand, is like the whole day is just the day, and then the sex at the end of the evening is the event that he's showing up for. So if you can make your wife feel loved, appreciated, valued, has self-esteem, self-worth, she feels like a valuable human being. It's like, you know, does she even feel sexy? It's like, what have you done to make your wife feel sexy? Have you said anything to her today to make her feel sexy? It's like, if you haven't made her feel sexy, why the hell would she want to take her clothes off in front of
you? And I feel like it's a really great opportunity to turn this into a game. And you can make this into a game throughout the whole day and kind of shift the focus from just a one moment to a long, really stretching it out so you can maximize that fun and playfulness and sexiness and connection and everything that comes with it.
Exactly right. Exactly right. It's like when you get that zing that you're talking about, it's because there's a playfulness there. It's because there's a lightness. It's because there's an airiness. It's because there's a easy breezy atmosphere. And it's like most guys, like, it's just so goddamn heavy all the time. It's just so goddamn intense all the time. It's like, chill out, man. I talked to a guy the other day, and he goes, my wife's who's separated. He goes, she's invited me on a weekend to a hot springs. Like, when do I bring this up? And when do I bring that up? And when do I talk about this? And I'm like, dude, man, it's like she's invited you to a fun weekend, and all you want to do is like just shit all over it. And it's like she wants to have fun, and you want to talk about when she's coming back into the marriage and when are you going to reconcile. It's like, just go show her a good time. Like, if this was your first date with her and she goes, hey, you want to go to the hot springs for the weekend, and you guys, well, I do, but can we talk about when we're going to get married in that weekend, or at what point can we schedule? When are we going to move this to the next level? She's going to go, dude, you've missed the point. You've missed the point. It's like, if you want your woman to show you a good time, show her a good time.
Yes, I agree with that.
If you want your woman to excite you in the bedroom, excite her throughout the day. And it's like, you want her to do something unexpected in the bedroom. Do something like, when was the last time you called your wife and said, hey, let's go grab a coffee for lunch? Because that's the woman's excitement, right? Like that's what the 8-year-old girl who's got this vision of romance and the prince rescuing her. It's like, that's what he does. That's what she really, really wants. It's like I tell the guys, what a woman really, really wants, in my estimation and my experience, from what I've experienced working with a lot of women now, is they want someone who goes, we're in this together. It's you and me against the world. Team Butler, right? It's team us. It's you and me against the world. And it doesn't matter what happens, you and me are going to go. It's like, that's the dream. And it's like, that's the man that she will do anything in the bedroom for, because that's her prince. And it's like, when you create that environment, it opens up the bedroom to anything you want.
It's so true. It's that leadership that we want. We want to be led. We don't want to be told what to do, but the whole, I trust you with our future. I want to go. And so I find that some of the things that I see is that there's a lot of men right now that lack vision of where they want to go, or at least in my work. And it's about getting them to be like, what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do with your life? And a woman will join and want to support you. If you just know where you're going.
Well, look, exactly. It's very astute. You're a very smart woman, Dana. Very smart.
Thank you.
Look, let's say 45 years old. Let's take 45 years old. Been married for 20 years at this point. It's like the man's vision is coming to an end. The woman's vision is just starting. So what I mean by that is, like, the man was very ambitious at 20, 25 years old. He wants to build a business. He wants to build a career. He wants to build influence. And he's going somewhere and he has purpose. By 45, he's probably or potentially achieve that, or a lot of it. Like, financial security is the big one for men, right? So I work with a lot of men. It's like, as soon as they hit financial security, they sit on the couch, pop open a beer and go, I'm done. I'm good. That's it. All ambition is left to build in. But that's you, brother. It's like, you've arrived at your destination. Your wife has been taking care of your family for the last 20 years. She's put all that off. She's delayed gratification in career, in ambition, in achievement, because she's been busy looking after your kids, bro. Well, you've been out living your dream. She's been at home feeding your kids. She's been at home changing diapers. She's been at home looking after the family, which you've neglected to see that that's what she's doing. And she's not where you are at 45. She's like, right, the kids are grown. I've got some opportunity now. I've got some time. I've got some resources. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn to indulge in some ambition. Now it's my turn to maybe start a business or a career. Now it's my turn to start living the life of ambition that you've been living from 25 to 45. From 25 to 45, I've been taking care of you, bro. And then she's like, well, all right, let's do this, man. Let's go build a life. And the dude's like, nah, man, I'm done. I'm good. And now there's a complete mismatch. I mean, there's three things that need to be present, Dana, that I say in order for the relationship to be healed, and that's like emotional safety first and foremost. Without that, you're done. You'll have nothing more than an agreement without that. The second thing is mutual admiration and respect, and the third thing is a shared vision and goal. The guys jump straight to that shared vision and goal and go, well, we'll go on a boat around the world, or we'll do it. And it's like, no, dude, she doesn't want to go on a boat for 18 months with Satan. It's like, unless she has emotional safety with you, she's not going to want to do anything with you. And unless there's mutual admiration and respect, she's not going to want to do anything in the bed with you. Again, you're going to get nothing other than obligational sex. Like a lot of women will give sex to their man out of obligation, and I salute that. In the same way that a man should give communication to his wife out of obligation. It's like, you can't just go, I don't like talking, I'm not going to do it.
It's about balance.
That's irresponsible.
Yeah, balance, and also that partnership and that give and take, and realizing that we both have different needs and we're different, but it's still good. It's okay. And going to that bar, like you said, of rising up to the occasion instead of sinking inwardly.
But this is where, again, I mean, it's like, to think that, your wife is just going to like be doing cartwheels in the bed night after night is not realistic. There's times when I don't feel like talking to my wife, but she needs it. She's had a rough, like, all I want to do is just watch TV or something or whatever. But it's like, I don't feel like it. But it's like, it's not about me and about what I want and what I need. It's about what she needs. And there are times when I have to go, okay, I don't really feel like talking right now, but I'm going to talk, and it might be for 2 or 3 hours. Like, it's not going to be 2 minutes. It might be for 2 or 3 hours. And it's like, that then gets me some grace on the other side of things. And there are times when she doesn't necessarily feel like sex, but it's like, it's the same. It's like, she's going to meet my need because I've met her need. To think that in a long-term relationship, it's just going to be fireworks and sparks all the time. It's not. It's like, well, you have a need and I'm going to meet that because that's my promise to you, is I'm going to meet your needs wherever possible, and vice versa. And it's like, that gets you through a vast majority of time, but then it also opens the door to those fireworks as well.
Absolutely. And I think even to addition of that mutual understanding, it's partnership. You want this long-term goal, and it's about working with somebody, not really against that person, and understanding you both have different needs. And in addition to that, do you have any other key ingredients that would make like a more well-rounded, successful marriage?
Yeah, I mean, it's the fundamental philosophy of a marriage is somewhere you go to give, not somewhere you go to get. Point blank. Like, I mean, when we look at the traditional marriage vows, it's like, it's a one-way. I'm making a one-way promise to you to behave a certain way towards you, irrespective of how you behave back towards me. It's not a two-way street. The promise that I make to you comes with no guarantee of anything coming back. I'm saying, I promise to behave this way towards you, and I promise to love you and respect you and meet your needs forever in this life until death do us part, irrespective of how you behave back, for better or for worse, irrespective. Being a high value male for me, which is what a woman wants, but basically, like, the solution to everything is become a high value male at a biological level and a subconscious level. Every time a woman has sex with you, you're potentially, that gene pool is going into her kids, and subconsciously she's going, is this man's genes giving my kids the best possibility of survival? And she's looking at you going, you're fat, you're lazy, you're overweight, you talk to me like I'm a piece of shit, there's nothing about you that's really attractive anymore, and I want that to be passed on to the next generation. Become a high value male where your wife looks at you, or your woman looks at you and goes, I want those genes in my kid. It's like when your wife wants a baby, man, you become a sperm donor.
Do you think that men take that in consideration, or unless they are reminded, it's not really something that they're thinking about? No.
Of course they don't.
No, exactly. Yeah.
They're delusional, entitled. They just look in, like, not to be crude, man, they just look in the mirror and start going, oh, you the man. It's like, no, you're not the man. You're not. Like, you've got to lead by example. Leadership is not tyrannical. It's like, leadership is like, I told my wife when we met, we've been dating for a while, and I said, here's where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. This is my vision for life. This is who I want to be. This is the road and the journey that I'm taking. You are welcome to travel with me on that path as much or as little as you choose. You can get on that path with me now and stay all the way to the end, to the destination, or you can not get on the path, or you can get on and travel with me for a little bit. And to me, that's what leadership is. It's like, I'm going somewhere. Would you like to follow me to the same place? And it's like, she said yes because I painted a picture of where we were going. I'm going to this land of rainbows and cotton candy. I'm going to this land of smiles and happiness. It's like, that's where I'm going. You see that glow on the horizon? I'm going over there. Do you want to come with me? Versus, bitch, get in the car. Bitch, get in the car. We're going. Bitch, I've booked a restaurant. What do you mean you're not happy? It's like, dude, come on. It's like, that's not leadership. Leadership is painting the picture of a brighter future and then moving in that direction. Go to the damn gym, you slob. Go and change your diet. You know, get some personal development. Stop being a low-value male and expecting your wife to accept that. Like, why would she want to sleep with you? Why would she want to be involved with you? Look at yourself. That's the truth. And it's harsh. And like, a lot of people be hating me for saying that, but it's like, if your wife showed up with your body, you'd have something to say. You have to be a leader in your house. You have to be a leader in your home. You know, I walked by my bathroom the other day, and I looked in, well, more than the other day, it's about a year ago, and I looked caught myself in the mirror, and I didn't recognize the dude. I'm like, who's that fat ass in my house? And I went back, and I'm like, no, like, that's not happening, man. Like, I didn't realize that I was getting a bit chubby. And I went that day, man, went to the gym, got a personal trainer. And my wife at that point, like that day, she goes, well, I don't think I'll be going to the gym. I said, I'm not asking you to go to the gym. This is for me. This is not about anything other than I don't like the person that I just saw in that mirror. And I go to the gym for about 3 months. And then one day she goes, do you think I could get a personal trainer? I'm like, absolutely, sweetheart. Absolutely. But it's like, if I'd have gone, well, I've got a bit lazy in my physique, and I think you've got a bit lazy too. We should get personal trainers. I'd have been like slapped around, rightly so. It's like, how dare you come to me and tell me that I'm fat? And you want sex tonight? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Versus, to me, the leadership is going, I need to work on myself. I've got a problem, and I'm going to show my wife. And this is not even consciously going on, but it's like I'm going to show my wife that if she looks at herself and feels like she'd like to be in a little bit better shape, I'm going to show her the path to it. And I'm going to give her the opportunity. And if she wants to take that, happy days. And if she doesn't want to take it, happy days. But here's the thing, right? 9 times out of 10, if you're going to a good place, they're going to want to go there with you.
Women are often drawn to this type. That's what we want. Like, this is what we are drawn to. So even if you started this journey, women will naturally go to you. This is something men should want to do. Like, then you'll get a whole bunch of ladies just being like, oh, this guy knows where he's going. I want to get snatched to this.
It's an aphrodisiac, man. Like, attraction, especially for women, and you're a woman here, so you can push back on this, feel free. It's like, attraction is behaviorally based. For a woman, for a man too, but to much more of an extent. Like, you'll find a very attractive woman with, a stereotypically unattractive man. You'll never find an attractive man with an unattractive woman. Like, yeah, of course, women are attracted to looks and physique and stuff like that, but that's not, like, if you don't have a physique or a bone structure, it's not a deal breaker for you, because she's attracted to your behavior, and that's what I tell the men. I'm like, she's not saying no to you, bro. She can't be around your behavior. She's separating the person and the behavior. She loves who you are as a human being. She loves your soul. She loves who you are, and she loves who you have the potential to be, but she can't live with the behavior that you're bringing into this relationship. And that's what she's saying no to. And that's why this marriage can change. That's why this relationship can change. If you're not getting what you want in the bedroom, it's because you're not engaging in behavior that's making her go, yeah, I have some of that tonight. It's your behavior. And people go, oh, my wife, she's got no sex drive. Of course she has a sex drive. She's a human being. People go, my wife, she just doesn't like talking. I'm like, that's the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. I'm like, that's like, of course she likes talking. She doesn't like talking to you, bro. And instead of looking at the situation and going, my wife doesn't like talking to me because I've destroyed utterly all emotional safety, she's talking to someone. Like porn's an example. Like, if a man's not getting sex from his wife or not getting sex from somewhere, he's getting it from porn. I'm like, a man is getting sexual stimulation, especially in this day and age where it's so readily available. It's like he's getting it somewhere. 100%. If you're not, woman, if you're not giving your man sex, he's getting it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's just porn, he's getting sexual stimulation somewhere. And it's the same with women. It's like she's getting communication somewhere. She's getting emotional connection somewhere. And men that go, well, my wife, she doesn't like to talk. I'm like, bro, she does, man. She's telling you that you've made the environment between you and her so prickly and so difficult, she just can't talk to you. That's the issue with the relationship. The issue is not that she doesn't want to talk. It's that she does want to talk, but she can't talk to you because of your behavior. And now you've made her the problem. Men go, my wife stonewalls. It's like, well, yeah, duh. She says something to you. You beat her up for it, verbally or emotionally. And then that happens over a number of years. So she goes, okay, every time I talk to this man about a problem, he beats me up emotionally. So therefore, I'm not going to talk about problems anymore. And then the man goes, my wife's a stonewaller. No, she's protecting herself against you, dude. And it's like, she knows you're the problem. She understands you're the problem. And she doesn't want to stop talking. She stopped talking because you've given her no choice. Now you've made her wrong for stopping talking. And you wonder why she's pissed off at you. It's like, take responsibility and go, the reason my wife is stonewalling is because I've utterly destroyed emotional safety. Well, whose fault's that? Yours or hers?
And when it comes to listening to your wife, what do you find that the most hardest aspect of that is for men? Is it like the time frame, hearing it? Is it all of it? Or is there something that kind of sticks out that men find difficult?
It's understanding her motivation for the conversation. So I had it last night. We went to a restaurant in the city, which was about a 25-minute drive, and my wife was telling me about her day. And I really had to hold back, man. I was like, well, why are you worried about that? Why does that even matter? Why is that even important? And it's like, then I caught myself. I'm like, she's not looking for a solution. She just wants to unload her day. The solution to the problem is letting her unload the day. She's not telling me about her day because she's asking for solutions. And if she wants solutions, she'll ask for them. One of the things is like, men go, women are complicated. I don't know. Like, no, they're not. Women are not complicated. You just got to listen to it. Like, your wife will tell you when it's your turn to talk. Your wife will tell you when she's looking for a solution. One of the phrases I use, because a woman will pause naturally a lot longer than a man. Like, if I pause for 2 or 3 seconds, it's your turn to talk. A woman will pause for 20 seconds because she's gathering her thoughts. And a man will confuse that. And a woman will be mid-thought, pause for 20 seconds, and then the man will go in and like, all right, problem 1, here's the solution. Problem 2, here's the solution. Here's problem 3, here's the solution. It's like, you've cut her off mid-thought and you've given her solutions. And she's just frustrated now. Versus the magic phrase, like, is, it sounds like there's more. I use that with my wife all the time. She go, blah, 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 blah. It sounds like there's more.
I love that.
Yes, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Well, sounds like there's more, sweetheart. No, that's all. I'm like, you sure? Sounds like, you might have some more. No, I'm sure. What do you think about that, Cody? Invitation to talk. That'll change your life. That'll change your marriage. That's all she wants. Like, a lot of times, that's all she wants. Again, men go, women are so complicated. No, they're not complicated, bro. Like, here's a woman in a nutshell. Push back on me if I'm wrong. Like, she wants a gentle word. She wants a kind word. She wants a gentle touch. She wants an ear to talk to, and she wants to feel like you're in this together.
Absolutely.
And it's like, you can't do any of those, man. You can't give her a kind word. You can't give her a gentle touch. You can't give her an ear to listen to, and you can't give her the sense that you're in this together, that you're on the same team. It's like, that's all she wants, man. I'm like, try this. Give her some kind words today and give her a gentle touch and see if you don't get a bit more spicy later on tonight.
And I think men need to understand that the soft, gentle touches, that's gonna lead to something.
Well, this is where I think like this is the danger of porn, isn't it? Like not even taking a moralistic view or the moral high ground on it. It's like, is porn right or wrong? It's like it's damaging to your relationship because it's giving you're learning what women want in a very skewed environment.
Mm.
Very, very skewed environment. You're learning what women want, and it's like, again, like I'm a marriage coach. The rules are different in dating. We're not talking about dating here, right? Like the rules are different in the dating environment. Like a woman or a man who's like 20, 22, 23 years old that's looking for some excitement and some entertainment, a little bit different rules. But when you move into that marriage relationship where stability is important, security, those things, it's like porn is very damaging, man. It's going to give you all of the wrong ideas about what your wife wants, and you're going to start behaving in ways. If you're watching porn, you're taking it on board, and you're going to start behaving in ways that are going to make your woman feel objectified, because that is exactly what those women in porn is. They're objectified. They're objects.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I'm all about like for freedom of choice. Like if those women want to objectify themselves for money, power to them, man. Good on them. Like I wouldn't stop it. I wouldn't stop them. But like I understand that like porn is by men for men, and the female psyche is not taken into account in any way, shape, or form. And I would hazard a guess that many of the women that have gazed in porn as participants are emotionally very damaged later on in life. I would hazard a guess that that's the case. And it's like if you start treating your wife like these women are being treated in these videos, that later on in life they're very, what do you think's going to happen to your wife? The porn is teaching you how to emotionally damage your wife or partner and utterly destroy your marriage.
And ultimately, what this kind of sounds, what it keeps coming back to is really unlearning those behaviors and learning what we think relationships are, and then challenging where we've learned it. I agree. There's a lot. I'm a generation of kids that all grew up on porn, and going back and having to like, that is not how you talk to people. That is not how you treat. That's not romance, and peeling all of that back and then kind of figuring out what works for me and what doesn't. It's a journey, and and it is super accessible. And so yeah, and if that's all you've had, then of course that's all you know. But again, spreading information, having you on the show, it's really about opening up other types of relationship styles and where you can go.
Well, look, there's a few things like that will destroy your marriage, point blank. Like marriage and alcohol are not compatible.
Mm.
Marriage, like alcohol and children, are not compatible. Like the two don't go together. Like you can't, if you want to have a successful marriage and if you want to reach your full potential within, alcohol can't be a part of that. Alcohol is holding your marriage back. Like to some people, it's destroying it. Like if you're using alcohol within your marriage, no matter where you are, you're underperforming. If you're at 7 out of 10, you could be at 9 or 10. If you're 8 out of 10, you could be higher. It's like alcohol's holding you back, and for most people, it's utterly destroying their marriage. Porn is the same. Porn and marriage is not compatible. It's not compatible. If you want to get involved in porn, don't get married.
Mm.
Because it will destroy your life, and it will damage your wife, because you're treating her in a way that's, she doesn't want to be treated. Like she doesn't want to be objectified. Like as a man, I'm quite happy to be objectified. It makes me feel good even to go, I'm a man. It's like women do not want to be objectified. They want to be appreciated. They want to be connected with. It's like that's what they want. Look, I mean, I had a conversation yesterday with a client, and he goes, "My wife's been phone sexting or whatever. She's been sending naked pictures of herself, and this man's been sending." I'm like, "Okay, all right. So, and what are you saying? Well, it's not on. It's not right. It's not. She shouldn't be." Okay, you've never looked at porn? Well, of course I have. Well, how's it different, dude? I'm like, she's looking at pictures of a naked man on her phone. You're looking at pictures of a naked woman on your phone, but it's okay for you and not okay for her. Well, he's a real person. Yes, so are the people in the porn, man.
Mm.
So are the people in the videos. They're real people too. Like, I'm like, again, leadership. Where is your moral authority to tell your wife she shouldn't be doing that when you're doing it 3 times a day, bro? Why is it okay for you to do it, but not for her? Why is it wrong when she does it, but it's okay when you do it? Because you've been taught that porn's okay. By who? The porn industry. You know, if you're going to go to your wife with any moral authority whatsoever, with any influence whatsoever, you got to get that porn out of your life, man. Well, you've got porn in your life. You cannot go to her and say, don't look at naked people on your phone. You know, you're completely incongruent, but going to your wife saying, follow me. No, you're not followable.
Yeah, and that's definitely not fair. And we women, everybody picks up on the unfairness. Like, that's not leadership, it's dictatorship.
Well, that's exactly right. And again, the answer to all of this is genuine leadership. And it's lacking. It's very sorely lacking, because it doesn't matter whether you're a man or a woman. There are women that I follow. There absolutely are women that I follow. I'm not a man, you know, one of these men that go like, women shouldn't lead men. It's like, they're thought leaders that I listen to on a regular basis, and I take on board what they're saying. It's because they presented a vision and they've articulated that vision very intelligently. And I'll follow anybody that presents a desirable vision and articulates that vision and has that intelligence and that authority. It's like, not a male or female thing.
Mm.
We're all desperately seeking that. And it's like, if you're saying that my wife doesn't respect me, my wife doesn't follow me, my wife's a loose cannon, well, is that because she's just renegade, she's feral, or is it because she's desperately seeking some purpose and you're not giving it to her? We all want someone to follow. I mean, I'm sure you follow thought leaders. There are people that you follow. We all need it. We all need leadership, and it's not a male or female thing, but in the marriage, it certainly is. You know, it's like you've got to paint a picture of a brighter future.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key takeaway here, is really just stepping into that leadership role, stepping into the most confident version of you. But if you had any other advice that you want to leave with our listeners before we head out, I'd love to hear it.
So you got to ask yourself the question, do I want to be right or do I want to be married? You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. You can have anything you want, but you can't have everything you want. You can have a drug habit if you want it, but you can't have your health as well. Or you can have your health. You know, it's like, and a lot of times, well, I don't mean like, I'm not promoting like being a simp and just, this is the thing, like people go, oh, so I'm just supposed to give in to my wife. No, you're supposed to learn how to have effective dialogue, to have a conversation.
Well, thank you so much for coming on the show and sharing your insight and expertise. It's been a very good pleasure. And for my listeners, where can they come out and find you?
So YouTube's a great place. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube, so you can watch me ranting on about stuff. Also, bettermarriage.com is a good place to get started. But if you just Google, if you go to YouTube and search Better Marriage, Cody Butler, I'll come up. You'll find me.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you again for coming on the show. And for my listeners, I will see you on Wednesday. You all know what to do. Stay kinky.